I still went to school, and the school year was abridged to July because September, that's year 1964, we're going to go into academic years. So we did only 7 months for the academic year, and then the following year now we started the class 7 scheme. In fact, we were the last standard 6 and the first class 7. We who passed to standard 6 were known as class 7A in St. Joseph's School, Manfred Town. Those who failed in standard 5 and the bright ones from standard 4 were known as class 7B, and then those who passed somehow to standard to standard 5 were known as class 7C. We were 120 of us. That year too, I wrote the special entrance exam to enter the Federal Bilingual Grammar School, Manowo Bay. And to the surprise of everybody, including myself, I passed. And so that year I entered the Federal Bilingual Grammar School, Manowo Bay. That was September 65. And we came in as the 3rd batch. It was such a special school because there was only one Federal Bilingual Grammar School in the whole Cameroon at that time. Although eventually you had Collège Bilingue d'Application, which some people erroneously called bilingual, federal bilingual. It wasn't really a lycée, it was Collège Bilingue d'Application. And so we were the 3rd batch in Lycée Bilingue Fédéral, Lycée Bilingue Fédéral, Federal Bilingual Grammar School, Manowo Bay. And the government lavished us because the president at the time, late Madu Ahijo, had a vision for a bilingual Cameroon or something of the sort. Although we viewed it, we the students, as being used as tools for an experiment, because we, the English-speaking students, had 13 lessons of French a week. In addition, we had, if they saw a good film in town, they came and showed us. The next day, we had to talk about the film in French. So when we passed to Form 4, the Francophones passed to Form 4, we now came into a school, a class called Troisième Bilingue. The same class, both English-speaking and French-speaking. And that year we wrote the BOPC. I have my certificate. Some of us passed, not too many, but some of us passed. I have my certificate even as I'm talking. We were expecting that the next year now we would go on to write the O-level. Unfortunately, the policy was class bilingue was troisième and nothing else. So in Form 5, we went our separate ways. And to show you that the English-speaking students had only 1 year to prepare the O-level, because all along we were only preparing the scheme for BOPC. So we went our separate ways, and then we did the O-level, eventually the A-level for my purpose in 72, before we went and registered in the University of Cameroon, Federal University of Cameroon, Yaounde. It was not known as Yaounde University, Federal University of Cameroon, Yaounde. And so I did law and economics. At that time, it was one faculty of law and economics. The first 2 years we did law and economics generally, and the last 2 years now we went our separate ways, as we did in lycée. The Anglophones did their private English law, and the Francophones did their civil law for the last 2 years. And then from there I entered ENAM. That was 76. Entered ENAM 76 and graduated 78. At that time, doing military service was compulsory for certain grands écoles, as they call those institutions. So we did. We went to Yaounde for 62 days, did the military training, then came back and eventually graduated and took our oath. So I got integrated into the judiciary on the 21st of October 1978.
So I think I am that very lucky generation of Cameroonians. We were the first post-independent babies, right? Cameroon got its independence 1960, 1961, Francophone and Anglophone Cameroon, and I was born in 1965. So I was born into what was a very hopeful moment. I think my parents, who were both civil servants, who had both gone abroad to study and come back as professionals. I grew up in a household where the major objective was to build Cameroon. It was to build a nation, you know. They were the independence generation. They had fought for and obtained independence. So it was a very, very hopeful moment. And I can also say that I am a child of reunification. My parents were both Anglophone. One of them is from the Northwest Province, or was from the Northwest Province. One of them was from the Southwest Province. So we already have a bit of mix in the family background, a lot of diversity in the family background. My father, who worked for the civil service in West Cameroon at the time, my mother was a nurse in West Cameroon at the time. My father got selected by John Gu Foncha to come with him to Yaounde to join. When John Gu Foncha moved to Yaounde as the vice president of the country, he selected my father as the director of cabinet to accompany him. So my family moved to Yaounde in 1972. So really in the heart of reunification. And I have to say, looking back, that the seeds of what we know today as an Anglophone crisis were already present. I remember my parents being really disgruntled. My mother had culture shock after working in the Anglophone regions as a health professional and then coming to the health system in Yaounde. She really had culture shock. It was a very different working environment, which she described as not professional, not clean, not putting the patient at the heart of the health business. And I remember conversations with my father of questioning and wondering about the decision they had made, because the promises were already not being lived up to. So unfortunately, it started very, very quickly. And of course, today with hindsight, we know that Ahidjo was a dictator. There's no question about it. And one of the things that Cameroonians don't know about our history is that after the independence of the Francophone side in January 1st, 1960, and the Anglophone side 1st of October 1961, both of these sides at that time had multi-party political systems. So there were multiple parties on the Francophone side, there were multiple parties on the Anglophone side. In 1962, Ahidjo took an edict. He had a presidential decree which impacts our lives till today. I think that is one of the most important documents in the history of Cameroon, because it created subversion of the state. Before that, we were allowed to have political opinions, political debate. It was very lively on both sides of the Mongo. The 1962 presidential decree states that if you have a political opinion which is contrary to that of the state, then you are subversive. So it criminalizes political debate and diversity in political opinion. So all of these things were already being questioned by 1972 when my family got to Yaounde. So my motivation to get into politics.
I was born in Nigeria, in Enugu, where my father was minister in 1952. And my birth was registered when we got back. So my documents might show that I was born in Genbo, which is my village. But actually I was born in Nigeria in 1952. And my birth is a bit of a milestone in Nigeria because it's in the newspapers. You see, when my mother entered into labor, they had to take her into the hospital. And so they took her to the best hospital there. But this hospital was a white-only hospital. It was called the Park Lane Hospital. So, but my mother was taken there, and it was the wife of a minister. So, this is the eastern region of Nigeria. So, of course, I was born there. So the newspapers carried the story, first black child born in Park Lane Hospital. So if you Google first black child born in Park Lane Hospital, you see the story about my birth. So there you go. I came into the world, therefore, with a lot of noise. Then, of course, after the Eastern Crisis, when the Southern Cameroonians were seeking for autonomy of Southern Cameroon, self-rule, self-government, they walked out of the Eastern House, which is known as the Eastern Crisis. So they walked out of the Eastern House of Assembly, and they came back to Cameroon, and then a government was created in Cameroon with a commissioner then. I think there was an executive council created. And that's the story about the autonomy of Southern Cameroons.
When the school children came back to the houses, we were all in support of it. But in our group, we're telling women that, but these children coming back to the house, is it possible for them to remain? It may be possible for them to remain in the house, but since we're not quite educated on our political landscape, on what was to happen, we all believed that it was going to take a year or two. So we withdrew children. They were saying, no, if this was to keep children at home and make UNESCO come into it. So all of us, including me, were keeping the children. We said, no, if UNESCO has to come in, then we have had a ground for an improved education. But 2 years passed. Came in. We found that the boys who had left school had been introduced to this taking arms. And even in that taking arms, I started asking my group members, I say, are we sure that this arms is good for the children? Everybody was supporting it. I mean everybody, every woman, they were giving food to the boys to stay in the bush and fight for this so-called freedom. Later on, it became like some people started settling squabbles through them. When you have a problem, that our land issue came back. So that each time you had a problem between you and your brother, they will take you to the Amber Boys. They will warn you, they will beat you. Most women were facing it quietly because majority were supporting them. So they would say, but why did you do that? Why did you? Then a time came, I said, but we are going into a situation where we will not control. We started discovering that women were now, when this the conflict became so intense, that the government had to send the the gendarmes and so on. It became a village. It started sending away people from the villages, and those who could not afford to leave the village went into the bushes. So on visiting one of our women who had a problem with pregnancy, I discovered that in that bush, she could not come out to the farm. They come out of the farm. They were all afraid they would not come out to the hospitals. I said, so what are we to do now? They said, no, they are taking those children, they are helping, there are women who have been doing local midwifery. But with local midwifery, after that, how are you going to treat that newly born child? We say no. I said, no, this is taking a different dimension. I started calling other women that we should see into it all. I had now gone to meet the Stand Up for Cameroon group. When they started, they called us for a meeting in Yaounde. In the first meeting, as we're in the meeting, we heard that in Batibo, the duo has been killed. 2018. We were meeting in February. It was supposed to be 11 February. So we've discovered in the meeting that the Francophone women.
All them. Have you talked to all them? Because for the short time, because we used to, my daughter said, as we do with backside here, we should say, but then they were from already. They see military they come because if you don't reach for some time we military they come, they key on, they shoot any place where they see them. So far as you day around place where number them pass. So they'll likely pass talk for you say as you stand for here, so military they come, you run. So they go as they talk, so they pass them. Where they feel likely, the military they feel likely come, they know say you don't pass away. They ask you deny. Now you not go face the problem. Or them way the amber don't already go in. So have you talked to all them to be the try to protect, but when it reaches some situation, it depends for you the statement where you make where you then make you get problem. If you then talk say the man I hate military because it don't pass do so, but way now the statement where you be make and don't make a involve you inside. Yes.
Sometime. For Sunday, I come go meet church. I come back, I sit down for house. I cook my cocoa, the powder. I powder, I come for cold leave for up backside. They talk say, hey, there are people that they come. I'm there for day. They shoot God. One shoot me. Now the place is. Then, na Akere, no, we said na this weekend there. Na Akere, they will shoot me. Then I come back, I cry.
You see you before you shoot you?
Yes. The time where I fall down, they cry. My weekend then they cover for outside. They ask this, they talk say they don't shoot mommy. He stand for other side so because we be there now for this side, they there for this side. And then the one way he shoot me, he say, he see the person, but he don't know say na this mommy for this compound. Because they then I saw me too are there for this other side, they there for this side. Then they break motor, they take me go with them for hospital. They talk say they don't go work for day. They take me for Bamenda Ayah. Then they take me come. They say, if you not put money for them, they not go work, no nothing for me. Then I did the cry. And then my begin, then they run, find money, bring them. Before they operate this hand, move that thing for them.
All them. Have you talked to all them? Because for the short time, because we used to, my daughter says, as we do with backside, we should say, I'm at the level of the they see military, they come. Because if you don't reach for some time, military, they come, they key on, they shoot any place where they see them. So far as you day around place where somebody pass. So they'll likely pass, talk for you, say, as you stand for here, so military, they come, you run. So they go, as they talk, so they pass them. Where they feel likely, the military they feel likely come, they know say you don't pass away. They ask you, you deny. Now you not go face the problem. Or them way the amber don't already go in. So have you talked say all them so be the try to protect, but when it reaches some situation, you it depends on for you the statement where you make where you then make you get problem. If you then talk say the man I hate military because it don't pass do so, but way now the statement where you be make and don't make a involve you inside. Yes.
Crisis don't affect me because they don't burn my house. Then keep my picking. Now one crisis that will affect me. But I think I want to talk so it worried me. Keep my picking for 8 years. Is that they bought my house. I don't get place for stay.
And we keep interceding. I've asked God that where are you? Are you not still seated on the throne? Where have you gone to? The next day again, one person was shot at the new church. That morning, the day I slept out of the house, where I was, I heard gunshots and I called. I said, where are you? He said that's how my heart was beating. So we are living now in fears. They shot that person there. So the ongoing crisis, we are just suffering. We are traumatized. We are living in fears. There are so many cases. We heard, even though the Bafut we heard, it has affected even me. Because Sunday, they killed. The other week, they killed in Bafut. They have been killing all over Bengui Junction, how do they call it? This Bengui roads. Killing there. Every day when you hear gunshot, you know that they have killed somebody. So that is why I said we have been living inside bloodshed. When you sleep the next day, you are praying to God. But when the next day comes, you say, well, thank you, God. And you see, when we are moving in the daytime like this, you don't know what can even happen. We are living with fears and fears all over. There was a time I even sent some of these children to Douala. But finally, I asked myself that, why? Why should I go and be raised?
You see now, the stand from here. Yes. So it is so I know he carries some heavy thing. At times he used to worry me. Yes. I know he do some better things. I know me on side because all the problem there for the side all. Boys are the key. Military is the key. So you know what support you on side. Yes. You know what support you on side. Some side know they protect you because when you want turn, they boy they will hold you, say you will black leg. They will kill you. You want turn for this side, they will say you will hide poison. You will black leg. All sides, all the two sides them. Better not there for some side.
Palm Sunday 2019 was 20 like that. They entered the quarter. They had to burn down 2 houses, kill people's pig. We ran that day. We were inside the bush from morning, from 7 a.m. till 6 p.m. We came back, we were even afraid to sleep inside the house again. We had to go again and sleep to a nearby house, leave our own house and went there. So we slept there, came back but in the morning. Then one afternoon again, we were struggling to cook. There was no way, we just put rice inside the pot like this. We left it there. When, before coming back, the rice was just It has not yet get ready. But we came back, add water before we cook so that children can even eat. Then my daughter got married to one boy. The boy was even shot on his way to the farm. They shot him dead. So we just came back. So from then we are just hiding out from bush. You come back, you go to the farm. So finally we had to join Stand Up for Cameroon, Mothers of the Nation. We came to town last time. They taught her how to make. You just have to find your own way and go. Because when they start shooting, they will even run them. Stray bullet now will catch, but you people, the civilians around. So when we see them, we will trek and pass very fast. Just as we were coming, just a bit like this, accident could have occurred. The driver was coming, seeing another vehicle standing. He did not know that those people like that, he thought they have had but a breakdown. So we were struggling. Just to see them racing gun towards us. We say, hey. The driver just slowed down. They came and checked that the driver have not settled control. He just dropped them 500 francs and we passed.
I was not reading, but because the time to cover up the syllables was cut short, I failed that year. And then the upcoming year, the next year, I met friends who don't even go them to school. Like, the company was very good because you know that you can go to school and nothing will even change. They just knew that when you go to school, they've already said that, oh, school is not helping this, they don't go to school. And got into crazy kind of stuff when things that I didn't love saying about. Did many things, did many crazy things, which was just because of the idleness during that period from the start. Like, go and meet friends, smoke, come back home, because you have no ambition for the next day. You don't even know where you're going to, where you're riding to. There was, until last year, I made up my mind. I went to Douala just to go and ride the GCE, because here was not really secured. Because I've passed through many incidents that if it was not God, I could have died just during this crisis. Times when the police attacked, took money from Jangi from me, shot on the air, shot on my head, times and again. But another, when there's a God, when you pray, normally God will hear your cry. It made my spiritual life later grow more strong, and I saw no use in all the kind of friends who I was moving with at that period, because
So many have died.
many of them have died. In short, nearly all. Just few that are even left. And it was just because I myself, I went to further my education in Douala and write the GCE that year. Because if I was here by that time, the time that it got crazy, the time this cocaine stuff came to Bamenda here, most boys, man, would they even see use of those things, because most is even the government that even supplies them to the youth, so that they should drink and they smoke it and how can I put it? Yeah, you just, so that your feelings, if you feel more sad, yeah, you just know that drug that can replace or help you in many things. But there is nothing. You take drugs from morning to evening, you never get full. That's wastage of money first.
Has been invaded by these policemen, these gendarmes. Yes, they have invaded the house. They are staying inside. So I did not have anywhere to stay. I went out with a single dress and a single pair of slippers with my daughter that you have seen. The daughter who is wearing that traditional gamalia. Yes, that was my daughter. By then she was just 6 months, and up to date that she is 6 years today. So it has been a bitter pill that I swallowed, because I left that house, and the military came and they were staying there. All my belongings went.
You want to see, they can't embarrass you. Get gone. When you not first get gone, when you say you not get gone, they say when they enter house, they go get to well beaten. Then picking that they beat their mommy where they born them, like say, not be they be common now for heaven, for now. Where now this crisis we did it now, so it make them before all that can attend them, it happen. You now so you not feel common for road, work peacefully. You come on, you had the only bit, whether you will meet them na military or you go meet them na the one there. So we all that thing there, all now the crisis where it come now. So if not be the crisis, all this thing not for.
Before we come up Bali for can reach for here, we get difficulties then because we contribute in the for route, the step. So you would stand for here, Simon Jangi, and Jangi since how this struggle start with the M then Jangi. No one day inside the 6 to 7 years, we never drop the Jangi, but you must M the Jangi because the point to before you M the Jangi. No man not there for the war way. He gonna stand for you front, so you know M Jangi will not be expect for M the Jangi. So now the first thing that we disturb with today for come for here.
Mrs. The education where we get for on picking, they will know if we get again. So one day where they don't come out, they need to go school. Before they one can start school now, they don't big start strong head. You know, be able for control, you may go back for school. And then forget that money, for pay school fee, for picking, you know, easy. Even the chop for mop, you know, easy for we forget her now, so we the crisis come. Because the crisis no be there, so chop be plenty. Thing then cheap. You go market, you buy a one pocket corn like 2,000. But now so one pocket corn at 6,000. You know the first see you the corn for buyer. I know easy for you for take feed the whole family. If you get a family, a large family, they may watch you don't for here again a large family. Again large family of about 19 grandchildren. So all them would live only inside here. For feed them, you know easy. For feed them. So sometimes they would make na so before we chop. Would make na so before we get oil. So see if the crisis no be there. When I go farm, oil the cheap. I feel buy my 1 tin oil at 4,000, 3,000. But now so 1 tin oil now around 18. You know easy for take that 18,000 go buy 1 tin oil. And now so 1 liter oil for 1,000. No be able because that time it be 300 francs, 250, 200 for bush. But now so it no be easy for we for live. The crisis, it don't dig we for so many way.